It's Saturday, December 5th. I'm Mike Rogers, and this is Comic Book Steals and Deals. Over at Ultimate Comics Raleigh today, they have the Star Wars Adventures Annual 2020. This is a 1 in 10. It's got the IG-11 on the corner. It's the variant that everybody's looking for. $55.99, but I believe it's the only place that I can find it right now in retail. They have the Dark Knight Death Metal Infinity Hour Extreme. This has Lobo on the cover. The 1 in 25 Grandpa for $24.95. There's also a Dark Knight Death Metal Multiverse Who Laughs 1 in 25, the Bianchi that everyone would have been looking for a while. Drastically lower in price, $24.99. Check that out. They have Department of Truth number 3, the 1 in 25, the Trevor Hendrickson at $14.99. And they have Daredevil number 25. They have the 1 in 25 Salvador at $124.99. That book is insane. You cannot find the other covers. The other covers sold out. I can only find them on the secondary market now. If I find them anywhere else, I'll tell you. But that Salvador is the only one I can find, and that's at $124.99. Over at Comic Mint today, they have Something's Killing the Children number 13. I'm just going to spell this one. Egikure. Ejikure? Virgin variant, $19.99. Very good looking. All these Something Killing the Children variants are insanely good looking. They have Daredevil number 25, the second print. So this is already the second print's already available. $3.49. That does have the female Daredevil on the cover too. That has Elektra as Daredevil on the cover. They have Strange Academy. Strange Academy, the number 1. They have a deal there at Comic Mint. You can get Strange Academy number 1, the second, third, fourth, and fifth print, and number 2, the second print of Strange Academy, all for $29.95, only available at Comic Mint today. They have King in Black number 1, the Mare at $12.95, the 1 in 25 at $19.95, the 1 in 50 at $34.95, and the 1 in 100 at $67.95 are the best prices I've seen for the King in Black ratio so far. Over at Bag and Board, they have King in Black number 1 at $5.99, just a regular cover. Bag and Board is like your local comic book shop, but online. So you go there to get every book, all those A's and B covers that you wanted. So over at Bag and Board, they got King in Black number 1 at $5.99. They have the Null Marvel Tales at $7.99. This is Null Marvel Tales is really heating up, because you got that amazing and Hulk Lee cover, and then there's another printing of Venom number 25 in there, or I'm sorry, another printing of Venom number 3 in there, which is the first appearance of Null, and another printing of Venom 25 in there. So this book is being considered another printing of these books. So this Null Marvel Tales is not to be missed. I believe it also has Jim Shooter involved somehow. Check that out. Thor 10, the Lashley, nullified at $3.99. That one I'm picking up. I think everybody should pick that one up as well. It's just a beautiful cover. Sold out at Bag and Board. Now, sold out at Bag and Board is like, okay, so people really hit on these titles. They've got Bag and Board services the internet, so they buy a lot of these titles. I always look to see what they're sold out of, and then I look to see if we can find them somewhere else. What they're sold out of is the King in Black Stormbreaker. Okay, that was a variant, King in Black Stormbreaker variant. It was only $5.99, but it was a variant, like a lower print variant. That one sold out. The Stegman Premier. Okay, the Stegman Premier. So there's a Premier variant dug by Stegman. King in Black number 1, the Premier variant. Stegman sold out at $5.99. And then the Miles Morales nullified that everybody was looking for, that sold out at $3.99. Those were really the big 3 that sold out that I could tell. Scott's Collectibles. Scott's Collectibles is in England, and you're going to pay, well, I put the difference in here, so don't even worry about it. So you won't even know that you're shopping in England. If you do the conversion on the prices, the shipping works out to be almost exactly the same as if you were shipping it from the cheapest place in the United States. It's crazy. So they have Department of Truth number 2, the Jason Shan? I think it's Jason Shaw, which comes out to $20.83 American. They have the Star Wars Insider 200, the Virgin variant Peach Momoko, with Mando and Gorgu on the cover at $21.50. They have the Venom number 30, the Shank the scan variant. This is Venom with flag, $20.16 is a brand new variant. Check this one out. Red background, really good looking Venom with a black flag that he's holding. And that's over at Scott's Collectibles in England. Great site over there. They have original work. They represent artists, so they have original work. So if you want to buy original work for somebody or for yourself for Christmas, you might want to check out Scott's Collectibles. Over at Slab Heroes, Slab Heroes is where we go and buy every book that we ever wanted in a 9.8. All of our new books. If we just wanted to pre-order books in a 9.8, you can do that at Slab Heroes. That's all they do is 9.8 books. So they got all the brand new ones in 9.8, starting at $48, going up to about 112. But you know, you could probably find the Donny Cates drawn King in Black #1 there for like, gosh knows, $800 in a 9.8. But you can get all those King in Blacks in a 9.8 as low as $48 for the brand new books. You can pre-order books in 9.8. Slab Heroes is an incredible site if you haven't checked it out, especially if you like 9.8s. They're guaranteeing 9.8. That's all they do is 9.8s. It's an insane place. Mostly starting at around $48 for the brand new books. I think I saw the Miles, like all the books that the sold out ones that I just mentioned were all there. The King in Black, the Stormbreaker, the Stegman Premiere, and the Miles Morales Nullified were all available at Slab Heroes in a 9.8 for a very low amount of money. At Slab City Comics, Slab City is also in England. Did I do the conversions here? I think I did the conversions here. If you want to do a conversion, put in, just copy and paste the pound, right? It's going to say what it is. It's going to be like pound 13 something. So just copy and paste pound 13 something with that little pound symbol. Put it in Google and press search, and it'll just, the first thing that's going to show you is the conversion in dollars. So it's the simplest thing to do. But at Slab City, they've got the TMNT Last Drone and the Matina, $67.13. They list their prices in dollars, I believe. So I don't even know if you have to do conversion over there. They have the Ryan Brown Black Cat. This thing is really good looking. Ryan Brown sometimes just hits him out of the park. He nailed this one, $16.06. They have the King in Black scan variant, again, $16.06. And the Ryan Stegman King in Black, the Ryan Stegman King in Black. I'm not sure which one that is. There's a couple of different numbers here that I'm not quite sure what. I'm not quite sure how much that was, but it's the Ryan Stegman King in Black over at Slab City Comics. Huge selection of variants, rivals Mutant Beavers, and cheaper shipping. All over at Slab City Comics in England. I go to them all the time. If I'm looking for a variant I can't find, or it's sold out everywhere in the United States, I go to Slab City. The shipping is incredible. The shipping is cheaper than in the United States. It's weird. You're getting it from England, and it's cheaper than a lot of places in the United States. And the variety, the selection is insane. You might pay $1 or $2 more for your books, but for the shipping and the convenience, it works out well. And the selection's insane. Mutant Beaver. Can't mention Mutant Beaver without promoting Mutant Beaver. Mutant Beaver's in Canada. We love Mutant Beaver. I would love to promote Mutant Beaver every day, but the shipping is like $13, $14. You cannot get around the shipping of $13. It's like, no, I'm not paying. Why would I? You're doubling the cost of my order by causing. They don't want you to shop in England. They don't want you to shop in Canada. The powers that be want you to shop in England. So in Canada, you're going to pay $13 to get it over here, but they have an amazing selection of comics, maybe the best selection of comics on the internet. Literally, probably the best selection of comics on the internet. And not only do they have all the variants and everybody else's variants, they get their own variants. So you can't get anywhere else. So Mutant Beaver kicks ass, but the shipping is a killer. So what do we have here? They've got Scotty Young's King in Black #1. Perfect freaking example. The only place you can get Scotty Young's King in Black #1 is Scotty Young's website and apparently Mutant Beaver Comics. So Mutant Beaver Comics has the best selection. Slab City's good. Mutant Beaver's the best. They have this is the only retailer I've seen that has the Scotty Young King in Black #1. You can get it at Scotty Young's. You can get it remarked, and you can get it you can't get it remarked, but you can get it signed at Scotty Young's website for a little bit more than than the retail price. But I've never seen, this is the first place I've seen that has it for sale, $39.09. Ice Cream Man number 22. This is the Alan Qua. This is their exclusive. This is available nowhere else. It's a disturbing cover of Ice Cream Man number 22 by Alan Qua, only available at Mutant Beaver Comics, $23.65. Try to fit in the thumbnail today for you. And then Comic Kingdom of Canada. Again, an amazing selection of comics, almost as good as the thing about Comic Kingdom of Canada is that people just don't go there. So that they have like these Sheldon, I can't remember Sheldon's last name, who did a brilliant Department of Truth variant. It's that white cover with the lady in the red standing there, kind of her hands out. It almost looks like she has needles for fingers. Very realistic cover, one of the most realistic covers for Department of Truth there is. Sheldon did this cover, and it's still available at Comics of Kingdom in Canada. It was a Comics Kingdom of Canada exclusive, and it's still available there. It should totally be sold out. People just don't go there because it's like, at least for me, if I'm going to shop in Canada, I'm probably going to go to Mutant Beaver, and I'm probably not going to take that next step and go to Comic Kingdom Canada because it's just one other place in Canada that I have to pay $13 for. But when you're looking for these really rare exclusive variants, sometimes they're the only guys who have them. So they have the Department of Number Truth number 1, the Sheldon Burkett. I wrote it right down. It's right there. Should have just read the paper. Department of Truth number 1, the Sheldon Burkett, $19.54. We love Sheldon. Sheldon is a part of the internet, the online YouTube community. So support Sheldon anytime you can. $19.54. It's that cover that I just described to you. They have Dark Knight Death Metal number 6, the 1:25 ratio variant. This is the Doug Mankey for $31.27. Doug Mankey's a ridiculous freaking artist. Check out that cover. They have King in Black, Gwenom vs. Carnage, the Ryan Brown. This is brand new. Another one from Ryan Brown. He nailed this one. Great cover. I like it much better than one. I like it much better than the A cover of 1 and 2 that I've seen. And apparently there's a really good series. So it's great to have a good cover to go along with this great series. And then finally, over at Comic Kingdom Canada, they have Return of the Valkyrie number 1. And the cover on this is brilliant. It is just brilliant. Return of the Valkyries number 1, $3.81. Check it out. It'll be linked below. All the links are always below. If you're looking for any of these things that I call out, I put all the links below so you can just click on them and go right to them. Over at the last one I have for you today, not for today. This is supposed to be yesterday's show. It didn't get done, so I'm going to give you a morning show and an afternoon show. We'll cover that new the new book that just came out this morning, Spawn, with the crossover. Crossover number 3 with Spawn on the cover. We'll cover that. You can get it everywhere. It's a pre-order for Spawn. They're going to print 1 billion of those. They've never not printed 1 billion Spawns. So right now you have they're going to print a lot. It's not a Spawn comic book. It's a crossover comic book, and it's just hard because crossover is such a new title. But it's crossover number 3. The main character of crossover is sitting reading a book, and Spawn is over her shoulder reading the book with her. So we've got Spawn in crossover now, on the cover of crossover, interacting with our character. Beautiful, love it. Donny Cates came out and said that. He went on Twitter and said to all my comic book retailers, crossover number 3 and crossover number 6 are going to be absolutely huge, like sell out huge. So there's definitely some big stuff coming. It's going to be difficult to sell out this Spawn cover because they're going to print a ton of them. There's no reason not to. That's why a B cover, not a variant cover, not a ratio cover. It's a B cover. They're going to print the hell out of them, which is fine. But don't think you need to jump on that right away because I think you're still going to have an opportunity to get that tomorrow, Friday. I don't think it's going to go away. Remember those Gunslingers came out? And I know Spawn is not crossover, but it's still the Image title. Remember when the Gunslingers came out and everybody was like, I need a Gunslinger. And then 3 weeks later, it's like, you can still pretty much get that Gunslinger if you want. It's like, yes, they just print as many as they feel like it. So I see a very overprinted book there. I immediately, when I saw that book, I jumped into Things from Another World. Great comic book store. I jumped into their store and I ordered 3. And then I was like, and then I backed off and I just pre-ordered 1 because I just think this book is going to be very heavily printed. It's going to be very heavily ordered, very heavily printed. So I just don't know if it's going to have that. It'll have that long term. When they heavily print these books, those prints are the long term. That's why, like, Spawn #1 was printed so heavily that they never thought it would ever be worth any money. It's worth money now because there's so much steam behind Spawn. Well, I just got in a semi argument with somebody online about Hulk 181. I really wasn't aware of how many actually exist. Honestly, if you do your research on Hulk 181, the value of Hulk 181 makes no sense whatsoever. The only reason why Hulk 181 is worth so much is because Wolverine is such a popular character and everybody wants his first appearance. And a bit of mythos has been built around that comic book that really shouldn't exist because there are far too many of them out there for that to drive the numbers that it's driving. But you see it with Spawn. We know that there's uh, so many Spawn #1s out there. It's insane. There was a group of people on the internet who were trying to buy up as many Spawn. There were 2 guys a couple years ago, maybe even a year ago. No, it was a couple years ago, who were purposely trying to purchase every Spawn #1 so that they would have a large enough number of Spawn #1s that they could actually get the price to go up. That they would actually have enough that they would buy as many Spawn #1s as they could to corner the market on Spawn #1 to see if they could drive the price up on Spawn #1. And it failed, but the it doesn't matter because Spawn is now a hot character and everybody wants a Spawn #1. So people are paying money for Spawn #1, even though there are more than enough to go around. But so I'm just saying you can't have a book that is heavily printed that still is desired and can go up in value after time or over time or immediately. It just sometimes these things just have to do with the popularity of the title and not the rarity of the comic. Kind of 2 conversations going on in my head here at once. Sorry. So over at Wrath of Comics, but just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. I kind of forgot what I was talking about, so I'm just going to continue here. Finally, over at Wrath of Comics today, they have Something's Killing the Children #9, the second print at $5.95. They have Something's Killing the Children #10, the second print at $9.95. They have Something's Killing the Children #11, the Zoe Lachey, the black and white. It's $99.95, but that's the one where she's holding the machetes as ears, like a rabbit. Great cover. And then #12, the Riccardi, the Virgin variant, $44.95, but another very limited great cover. They also have Strange Academy #1, the 5th print at $6.95. Strange Academy #1, the 2nd print at $9.95. Though we saw that deal earlier. Where did we see that deal earlier? That was over at Comic Mint had that deal, Strange Academy, with the #1 and #2 with all those printings. But Wrath Comics does have them. You can get them individually if you like. If you already have some and you just want to get them individually. Thor #2, the design variant, is available at $26.95. This comic has been said to have been a very important comic book when we get into crossover. Now that we know that crossover 3 and crossover 6 are going to be extremely important books, we know it's pulling in Spawn. There's always been talk that there is a connection between crossover and Thor #2. Now, if you want to get Thor #2, the first print, it's going to cost you probably about $75, $85 now. It might be down to $64 because it might have cooled off a little bit, but it's going to heat back up. They have a Thor #2, the design variant. This is basically a first print. It's just the design print variant. It's a variant of the first print. $26.95. I think that's an important book, and I really think you should be looking at that hard. Strange Academy, they have the Strange Academy Doctor Strange Alex Ross Timeless variant, still only $3.95. And they have Strange Academy #2, the second print at $3. I think we already covered. But that's about it for today. So this was the list from yesterday that I never got to put up. I'm going to be doing another show here in a couple of hours once I do my research, and we'll talk about the new one. We'll talk more about the Spawn crossover and stuff like that, where you can find it. But I don't think you need to rush out, and that thing's not going anywhere fast. They're going to print that forever. I don't see that book selling out. I haven't really seen the crossover 1s and 2s and 3s selling out like I thought I would. And I don't think it's because the heat came off the series. I think they printed a lot of them. So we'll see. But that's all I have for you today. You know I'll talk to you later with a new show. We're going to have to do some type of auction. I've got more comic books from people in Patreon than I do of my own. So maybe we'll do a patrons auction. Because I'm not getting any books. My orders they're supposed to come in on the 3rd, then the 4th, now the 5th, and now the 7th, and some are now saying the 10th. So I haven't seen a UPS truck on my street in 2 or 3 days, so I don't know what's going on. But I have some books that I have here that kind of are silly because they need the other books to come in. They kind of companion with those. But we do have a bunch of other books that I could do for Brian and for some other folks. So look for that tonight. We should probably do something tonight. It's already Saturday. It doesn't feel like Saturday. And then we'll definitely do something tomorrow if more books come in. But I guess we'll just have to go with what we have tonight. And I will be doing another show today just to talk about what's coming out today. Beyond that, I'll talk to you later.